Honestly, give this Englishman a medal. He's pulling down a flag that makes many of my Jewish friends feel unsafe as they've seen people wearing it chant for their extermination. And the man who pulled the ladder down could have killed him. He should be put on the naughty step.
I've noticed that a lot of different flags have been appearing on our streets lately, including Palestinian ones, instead of the Union Jack. It's very strange. Some patriots in our country notice this and immediately take down other people's flags, but it doesn't end there. There are constant conflicts with migrants, and this is already going too far.
Honestly, give this Englishman a medal. He's pulling down a flag that makes many of my Jewish friends feel unsafe as they've seen people wearing it chant for their extermination. And the man who pulled the ladder down could have killed him. He should be put on the naughty step. However, this is Sadiq Khan's London, and his police force have a two-tier approach. So I'm fully expecting the Englishman to get 30 years in jail and the two hooligans who attacked him to get hired as hate crime advisors for the Met Police.
In the UK, as in many other countries, there is an increase in tension between different social and religious groups. Due to the constant flow of migrants and the changing demographic composition, skirmishes constantly arise. In recent events, such as the riots in Liverpool caused by a crime committed by a Muslim, show that British society is already tired of tolerating the criminal antics of migrants. We urgently need to change our migration policy. There are already calls in the crowd for Keir Starmer's resignation. Meanwhile, the police reassure the Wahhabis and declare that they are completely on their side. And the same Londoners are being sanctioned because of their allegedly violent behaviour. It is noteworthy that the police protect those who are already doing well without their help. Very often they are armed.
Just this week, we've seen the presidents of elite universities, Harvard, Penn and MIT, make excuses for students who call for the extermination of Jews. And we've seen the blue-haired, non-binary staff at a coffee shop in California stop a Jewish woman from entering the bathroom. The coffee shop is pledged to send staff on diversity training. I'm sure that'll solve the problem. If only someone had sent Hitler on a 2-hour diversity awareness course. Think of the tragedy that could have been prevented.
In the United States, 3 coffee shop workers were fired after a video of them preventing a Jewish woman from using the toilet appeared online. The woman wanted to take pictures of anti-Israeli graffiti on the walls, but they refused to let her in, while making anti-Semitic speeches. This incident is an unacceptable and shocking manifestation of intolerance. It not only causes alarm among the Jewish community, but also increases the growth of anti-Semitism in society. Fortunately, this situation was quickly resolved and these employees were punished.
If I was wearing an American flag or an English flag or a Ukrainian flag, you would not ask me to remove it. That would be considered offensive. If I was wearing a rainbow flag or a pride flag, you wouldn't stop me. No, you wouldn't.
In London, a woman was refused entry to a pub because of the emblem with the flag of Palestine on her jacket. Shortly before that, the pub announced that visitors should remove any flags, badges and political symbols before entering in order to create an atmosphere of neutrality and equality for all. The management of the pub does not want to be a place for political debate. On the one hand, the pub strives to create an atmosphere of inclusion and respect for all its visitors, regardless of their political views. On the other hand, a woman could perceive the flag as a symbol of her identity and her attitude to the conflict in the Middle East. Who do you think is right?
They obviously all get free hotel accommodation at a cost of around £5 million a day to you, the taxpayer. Some of those hotels are 4-star. In those hotels, they get free heating, their water bills are paid, they get free food and usually a free television as well. So asylum seekers won't pay any bills for a TV licence or anything else, of course. If they're not in a hotel, then they're entitled to a house or a flat, which they also get for free. The government's own website says you'll be given somewhere to live if you need it. This could be in a flat, a house, a hostel, or bed and breakfast.
In the UK, there is a tightening of migration policy and conditions for asylum seekers. Asylum seekers are often desperate people fleeing war, persecution, or poverty. However, it should also be noted that among the asylum seekers, there are those who do not fully meet the criteria for asylum. In this context, the question arises about the rationality of government spending on the maintenance of asylum seekers. The cost of their accommodation in hotels reaches significant amounts. This money could be used to solve internal social problems. Albanian citizens predominate among asylum seekers in the UK, followed by Afghans, Iranians, Iraqis and Syrians. Over the past year, the government has allocated more than £6 million a day, or almost £2 billion a year, to accommodate 51,000 asylum seekers in hotels across the country.
They get around £50 a week per person. just as spending money. They often get mobile phones and SIM cards, so no real phone bills for them. Legal costs. You pay for them to lodge an asylum application. You pay the salaries of the public sector workers who judge their case. You pay for their numerous appeals. You pay again for the people who decide their appeals. Roughly about £35 million a year is spent on legal aid, although I think it's quite likely that the true cost is much higher. If they've got kids, well, of course, then you're paying for them to go to school, aren't you, as well? Healthcare. Illegal migrants can use the NHS. In fact, on the Bibby Stockholm barge, which was closed for being too inhumane,
the government allocates £75 million to combat illegal migration. These funds will be redirected from the budget to the implementation of the plan for the expulsion of migrants, which was launched by the previous government. The additional money will be used to purchase new technologies and increase the number of employees involved in this area. However, I need to point out that such spending may be ineffective, and that the government is already spending significant amounts on hotel accommodation for refugees, which could drain the budget.
This is in relation to a gun-obsessed illegal migrant who's made threats to kill. He appears to have arrived in Britain, across the Channel. So this comes on the day that Prime Minister Keir Starmer has revealed that he's accepting at least 8 more years of illegal Channel crossings by making you, the taxpayer, pay more than £520 million for processing centres to keep their doors open. So I believe that we might be able to show you a little bit of footage now, or certainly a picture. This is a guy called Madapasa.
The number of migrants arriving in the UK has reached a record high. Against this background, there is an increase in tension in society. On the one hand, there are protests against migration. On the other hand, some migrants feel unpunished and continue to illegally cross the border. So recently, there has been a record flow of migrants crossing the English Channel in small boats, which increased after the new Prime Minister Starmer came to power. The Labour government abandoned a plan to deport migrants en masse to Rwanda and Ukraine, and instead offered them the opportunity to seek asylum and stay in the country. Some migrants use violence in response to manifestations of intolerance.
There he is. Looks like a lovely chap. Appears to have a Kalashnikov tattoo under his eye there. Quite distinctive, I think you would agree. So he's been releasing TikTok videos of what appears to be his journey across Europe. From Sweden, there were some quite young girls around him, I believe, at one point as well.
Videos of Madapasa, an illegal migrant with a Kalashnikov tattoo on his face, quickly gained millions of views on TikTok. Paz posts videos of his attempts to illegally cross the English Channel on a small boat, pretends to shoot a gun, and conducts vlogs about his life in northern France. In one video, he simulates shooting with 3 girls sitting on his lap, and in another he shows himself with friends in a tent, one of whom poses with a real gun. I really hope that he will also be punished for all these antics. Almost all European countries are almost crying from the extent to which illegal migration has got out of control, and such people mock all these problems and create new ones.
They're camping en route, they've got their fire going, their tent up, they're making a series of exceptionally aggressive images. He's telling the world he's about to attempt an illegal crossing of the English Channel, and it's party time!
Madapasa, who previously lived in Stockholm, turned his attempt to cross the English Channel illegally into a reality show on TikTok. He gained almost 20,000 subscribers, 227,000 likes, and millions of views by posting videos about his dangerous journey and life in a migrant camp in France. In one video, he shows dozens of migrants having fun around a campfire, with French and British flags in the background, indicating his intention to reach Britain. Other videos show him trying to board a boat, interacting with the French police, who blow away the boat, and also hiding by the railway tracks. Nigel Farage shared Pasa's videos on his social media, asking his followers if they wanted such a person to live in their country.
Englishman, Nigel Pasa, don't talk about me. You not know me. I come to England because I want to marry with your sister. Don't talk about me more. I gonna come to England. I gonna mother.
It seems that this guy is very offended by the politician. In one of his videos, he tries to threaten Nigel Farage with gestures that mimic a gun. Apparently, the video was shot in response to Farage's criticism of Pasa. Farage posted this video on his social media, highlighting the danger of the situation and stating that Pasa is now in the UK. This threatening video was filmed in one of the migrant camps on the French coast, where smugglers are operating, organizing the transportation of people to the UK. I was shocked when I saw all these videos. Please give me feedback. What do you think about this video? See you soon.